We're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What does yoga in Kapha season look like? This is what we're going to be exploring today. My name is Nina Sachs. I am a yoga teacher and health coach. I have been teaching for over 20 years and I absolutely love the practice of yoga and Ayurveda and combining the two together. So, what exactly does Kapha season look like? What does it mean? How do we adapt our yoga practice in the Kapha season? So if you think of the qualities of Kapha is the combination of earth and water. So the sense of earth being like heavy and dense, and this lovely weighted space, and water, which is cool, it kind of like flows, it moves, it is slow. And so when we bring these two qualities together, we get known what as the Kapha dosha. Now, we are all made of all the elements. Outdoors in nature are all the elements. And as the seasons shift and change, they have certain of these elements more pronounced. So often, for example, for those who are down in the Western Cape, in Cape Town, you'll notice that winters are a lot colder and a lot wetter. For example, where I am in Mozambique, the winters here are cold, but they are dry. It's not very wet. So we have more of like a Vata winter, whereas like in the Western Cape is more of a like Kapha winter, where these qualities tend to be more abundant. Now, every day can be different as well. So, for example, you can have a very sunny day in winter. We just look at what the majority of the days are. So we do need to adapt our practice to a kind of like a daily rhythm as well, seeing what it's like. So have a look as to what the weather is like on any particular day. And if you have like a Kapha day where the qualities are that it's cold, there's kind of like a heaviness to the day. It's maybe quite wet and dense. And so if you think of those qualities, that is already what nature is kind of like bringing to you, putting on you. And so if you add more of this slowness, more of this denseness, more of this wetness to you, you're going to have even more of those Kapha qualities. So what you want to do is in yoga, or in Ayurveda, we always talk about the opposites balancing. So if something is cold and slow and wet, you want something that is light and dry and warming to bring you into this lovely space of balance. So when we're in a Kapha season, we really want to shift our yoga practice so that it is a little bit more dynamic, because a dynamic movement is what's going to bring us a little bit more heat. It's going to, again, a little bit of heat brings a little bit of movement, which brings a little bit of wind, which brings a little bit of dryness. So instead of kind of like having your yoga practice, which is very static and still and calming, you actually may want to do a practice that is a little bit more dynamic. So maybe that is warming up with dynamic movements or things like salute to the suns. Maybe you want your yoga postures to be dynamic, a little bit more dynamic than they normally are as well. So instead of doing a static forward bend, think of doing a dynamic forward bend where maybe you're working with a forward bend and a squat if you're doing a standard forward bend. Instead of doing like a warrior number 2 and just holding that, you want to think of how can you shift this into maybe a dynamic warrior 2, where you're going into the pose, out of the pose, or you're combining it with maybe a reverse warrior or a side angle pose. So that is how, very simply, very easily, you can adapt your yoga practice according to the weather, the dosha, on any particular given day. So that is what I would do when it is Kapha season. Let me know in the comments below what one or two of your favorite practices are to do when it is cold and wet and a little dense and heavy. I'd love to hear from you. Have a beautiful day. That is your tip for today. Remember, get on the mat, and even if it's just for 5 minutes, do something that's going to make you smile, because when you smile, you're going to feel so much better and it's going to brighten up the rest of your day. So even if you haven't done a yoga practice, I know it's afternoon yet. Usually I do these sessions in the morning, but even if you haven't gotten on the mat today yet, just get there now, and it'll make your evening and the rest of your day a lot smoother and better. See you on the mat. Bye.